Hey everybody, I'm Christopher Green. You're watching AMTV Alternative Media Television Live. It is, of course, November 3rd, 2016. And Barack Obama has just said, he's giving a lot of speeches nowadays, he's done running the country. It's already been radicalized, socialized. The Manchurian candidate has taken over, courtesy of the powers that be that have propped him up by his bootstraps and continue to play his puppet strings like they do Hillary Rodham Clinton. But he said today, the fate of the republic rests on your shoulders. The fate of the republic rests on your shoulders. And then he goes on and on in this speech and says, we need to choose hope. 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 Very impassioned. But I can't help but think that he looks really, really nervous. Again, Julian Assange will be conducting an interview on RT, dropping over the weekend here, November 5th. You notice how he just keeps dumping and dumping more bombshells right on the head of Hillary Clinton. And it all trickles back, and it all links back to Barack Obama, who was watching all of this knowingly go on underneath him. Probably approved most of it, but Gazagate, death of Christopher Stevens, several other Americans, taking out more and more Gaddafi through gun running, overthrowing of sovereign nations, now the destabilization effort in Syria, demonization of Russia, the world war with the BRICS nations, Russia, China, and others, this war over the petrodollar and the yuan, otherwise known as the renminbi. The fate of the republic, he says, rests on your shoulders. It's exactly why you need to vote for Hillary Clinton, because she's such a good person. Just like Michael Moore suddenly flip-flopped recently. And he says, you know, Hillary, she's a pretty good person. Even though he rails against Wall Street and the too big to fail banks and has railed against Hillary Clinton's entrance and vote into the Iraq War and all of these things, is now flip-flopped because he's just an establishment figure himself. Now, the FBI believe Clinton Foundation case moving towards a likely indictment. In fact, right now on Twitter, follow me on Twitter, @AMTV Media, hashtag Hillary indictment is trending. Is she really going to be indicted? I can't help but suspect that she won't. And I'm sorry, many of you probably, I don't like to hear that, Christopher, but really, is she going to be indicted? I mean, I would certainly like to see it happen. It's certainly justified. But will she actually be indicted? And even if she was indicted, would she really go to prison? Probably not. Probably not. She would either pardon herself when she's selected president of the United States, or Barack Obama would potentially pardon her. She might be disgraced, but she wouldn't be in jail. Unless the information Julian Assange is dumping is so damaging, so heinous, so extreme, as we pointed out with Steve here in his viral video, the Hillary Clinton takeover of the United States, and the allegations that Hillary Clinton and Bill were on the Lolita Express with Mr. Epstein, and were potentially, is the accusation, having sex with underage boys and girls in a pedophilia scandal / ring. Unless it's something that badass, extreme, perverse, insane, that she would have to go down in flames. Let's take a quick look at the speech Obama gave. Again, he's not running the country. He's just promoting Hillary Clinton right now, more than likely to save his own ass. Let's take a look at this.
All the progress we hope to make over the next 8 years, all of that goes out the window if we don't win this election. And we don't win this election, potentially, if we don't win North Carolina. So, I hate to put a little pressure on you, but the fate of the republic rests on your shoulders. I've got Republican friends who don't think or act the way Donald Trump does. This is somebody who is uniquely unqualified. I ran against John McCain. I ran against Mitt Romney. I thought I'd be a better president. But I never thought that the republic was at risk if they were elected. The guy they nominated, who many of the Republicans he was running against said was a con artist and a know-nothing and wasn't qualified to hold this office, this guy is temperamentally unfit to be commander-in-chief, and he is not equipped to be president. And this should not be a controversial claim. It really shouldn't. I mean, it's strange how over time what is crazy gets normalized. This is somebody who claims to be a great business.
So, according to Barack Obama, the republic is at risk, but it's not if Hillary Clinton carries on his presumptive third term as the Manchurian candidate and president of the United States. He says Donald Trump is crazy. That means you guys, all of you tuning in, and over half of the American population that is pro-Trump, that has voted pro-Trump, has voted and demanded the people's choice to be in the position of GOP Republican candidate. You're crazy, according to Barack Obama. You're crazy, baby, according to this man. The republic at risk, according to Barack Obama. Well, I think we all understand that. It's why we are fighting to elect, hopefully, if there is a system at all, somebody who's going to make America great again and not destroy the country, who's going to potentially have diplomatic relations with countries like Russia and Vladimir Putin. By the way, Steven Seagal, I used to watch his movies as a kid. He's always breaking people's arms and stuff and blowing people's legs off with shotguns, was actually just granted Russian citizenship by Vladimir Putin. He's actually just left the United States. He's going that direction, hanging out in the Kremlin right now in Moscow. Of course, the Chicago Cubs won last night, the World Series. Notice that the blue team won. Is that a bad omen for what's about to come here? The U.S. selection results on Tuesday. Holy cow, 108 years later, finally the curse of the Billy Goat is done. It was actually a pretty amazing game. I don't really typically follow sports, but it was quite historic. Pretty exciting to see. I know a lot of you out there in Chicago are fans of the Cubs, are pretty excited. I mean, you haven't won anything in a World Series in 108 years. Pretty darn incredible. But again, is it a bad omen? The red team lost. The blue team won. You notice how many Hillary Clinton ads were playing and how many Donald Trump ads were playing during the World Series? I think there was 40 million viewers, and all we got was political ads. Telling. FBI's Clinton Foundation investigation now a very high priority, sources say. The FBI investigation into the Clinton Foundation that has been going on for more than a year has now taken a very high priority, like it wasn't before or something. Separate sources with intimate knowledge of the probe tell Fox News. FBI agents have interviewed and re-interviewed multiple people on the Foundation case, which is looking at a possible pay-for-play interaction between then Secretary of State Hillary Clinton and the Clinton Foundation. You notice how they want you to believe, and this could actually be a psyop, right? I'm even responding to a few people right now on Snapchat. They're sending me personal messages, also through Twitter, direct messages, and AMTV Media. Like, you notice how, and I think this is a very kind of important, critical point to point out. Notice how they've spun the story now that it's actually because there's good people at the Bureau, allegedly, and good people at Central Intelligence, and because they're so good, and America is so good that they're leaking this information to WikiLeaks. Maybe they just want you to believe that. And then, these viral videos come out on a coup d'etat, a grayscale video that, America is, experiencing a second American Revolution. Maybe they just want you to believe that because they can't stop the bleeding of these leaks. They just keep coming out, so they'd rather co-opt and be like, yeah, there's good people at the FBI and the Central Intelligence Agency. I'm just thinking outside the box here a little bit. Again, we've got to give critical thought on both sides for us to be an intelligent channel and an intelligent thinking community. Got to play both sides. People ask things to me, sometimes they'll be like, Christopher, well, where do you stand on Donald Trump? Why will you speak critically of him? Wasn't that what I'm supposed to do? I'm pro-Donald Trump. I support Donald Trump. I voted Donald Trump a couple days ago. I want the guy to win. I promoted him heavily on this channel, but he's also open to criticism. Anytime he does something stupid or he says something stupid, or he gives me a reason to investigate, think outside of the box, I'm going to do it. I'm not going to hide behind a party line system and just tell you guys what you want to hear. I always find that interesting. People are like, but I just want to go listen to InfoWars because he's just going to promote Donald Trump 110%. Not only are they promoting it, he's guaranteeing a landslide victory, and it's exactly what I want to hear. Well, I actually think that we should think critically. Think, right? Think. What was the book? Think and Grow Rich? By actually thinking intelligently, you might actually affect change and understand the world and the mechanisms of how this control system actually works on so many different variant levels, from media to banking to psychological warfare, etc. What we saw again with the Steve Pachinik video that I talked about extensively earlier this AM, how here's a guy who's a Harvard grad who actually has studied psychological warfare. And here he is engaging in psychological warfare with the viral video that he put out this morning. So again, the goal here is to think critically, guys, to think outside the box, off the cuff, give you a real opinion. And as much as I want to see Hillary Clinton indicted and want to think that something so monumental has changed from inside the Bureau that failed to investigate her in the first place and dropped charges, essentially, a treasonous act by James Comey, that now suddenly they're on the bandwagon to indictment, I can't help but have a healthy sense of skepticism here. And I think it's more than justified. So when faux news tells me, well, now they're really taking it seriously, it's suddenly a high priority, but it wasn't before of the FBI, I'm sorry if I call BS on that. I think there's something else there. And I'm hoping, but it is hope, that something so damaging, so heinous and extreme is about to drop that there will be no ignoring it, and she will have to go to pound me in the ass prison, along with her husband. According to the Wall Street Journal, secret recordings fueled by the FBI feud in Clinton probe, secret recordings of a suspect talking about the Clinton Foundation fueled an internal battle between FBI agents. Again, they want you to think this. There was an internal battle at the FBI. Suddenly. There wasn't before. But now there's an internal battle. They're the ones leaking to WikiLeaks and Julian Assange. It's not that they're just trying to stop the bleeding and that, the powers that be are kind of co-opting this reality because they can't stop it. They've got to co-opt it. They've got to front-run it because it's exposing how criminal and disgusting and treasonous and diseased Washington truly is. And the bankster elite truly are. And the media machine truly is. I want to believe it, but I think we should all maintain a healthy sense of skepticism here. Brett Baer reports, faux news, FBI sources believe Clinton Foundation case moving towards a likely indictment. Well, that's great. I'm so hopeful. We're moving towards a likely indictment. What are you waiting for? Indict her now. Indict her now. Indict her now. Indict her now. Instead of hope, like Barack Obama, hope, hope, hope. What are you waiting for? If the Republic is at stake, strangely, I actually agree with Barack Obama. For the first time ever, the Republic is at stake. What are you waiting for? Indict Hillary Rotten Clinton now. Let's go to that brief clip. Brett Baer.
This is a Fox News Alert. I'm Brett Baer in Washington. Breaking news tonight. Two separate sources with intimate knowledge of the FBI investigations into the Clinton emails and the Clinton Foundation tell Fox the following. The investigation into the Clinton Foundation, looking into possible pay-for-play interaction between Secretary of State Hillary Clinton and the Foundation, has been going on for more than a year, led by the White Collar Crime Division, Public Corruption Branch of the Criminal Investigative Division of the FBI. The Clinton Foundation investigation is a, quote, very high priority. Agents have interviewed and re-interviewed multiple people about the Foundation case, and even before the WikiLeaks dumps, these sources said agents had collected a great deal of evidence. Pressed on that, one source said, quote, a lot of it, and there is an avalanche of new information coming in every day. Some of it from WikiLeaks, some from new emails. The agents are actively and aggressively pursuing this case, and they will be going back and interviewing the same people again, some for the third time. As a result of the limited immunity deals to a number of top aides, including Cheryl Mills and Heather Samuelson, the Justice Department had tentatively agreed that the FBI would destroy those laptops after a narrow review. We are told definitively that has not happened, and those devices are currently in the FBI field office here in Washington, D.C., and are being exploited. The source points out any immunity deal is null and void if any subject has lied at any point in the investigation. Meantime, the classified email investigation.
Breaking news, everybody. This just in. Hillary Rotten Clinton and her husband go down in a massive pedophilia ring, courtesy of the Epstein Lolita Express. Yeah, you heard me. They've been indicted. According to Bret Baier, a likely indictment over this pedophilia scandal, of which Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton swing both ways and engage in lewd sexual acts with underage boys and girls. That's the allegation and drop that many people think is coming. Oh, by the way, 2012 Anonymous USA, who just commented live, because this show's live, my friend, said, hey, I don't think this show is live. It must be like a pre-recording, because a lot of these media outlets are putting out pre-recordings and then calling it a live show. It's live, my friend. In fact, 2012 Anonymous USA and the rest of you in our chat room right now, give me a thumbs up, or more importantly, a punch emoji. Hard-hitting and in your face. Stay tuned for a lot more. I'm Christopher Green. Please subscribe on demand, $4.95 a month, $49.95 a year. As always, hard-hitting in your face. Share all of our content today and get my breaking full analysis and breakdown of the Assange WikiLeaks interview taking place, a pre-recorded interview. That's pre-recorded, not this. This is live, being produced in real time right now in Arizona, a conservative state, hopefully still. Hopefully it's not going to swing blue. I think the mainstream media just wants it to believe that. But get our full report and my full analysis on Julian Assange, dead or alive, and what I suspect is coming out over the weekend. Get it out everywhere. Make it viral. Peace.